Operation Linebacker Two, often referred to as the Christmas bombing, took place in December 1972. This campaign marked one of the most intense bombing operations of the Vietnam War. The US Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps launched a series of heavy bombings over North Vietnam. The main objective was to pressure the North Vietnamese government to return to peace negotiations. This operation ultimately led to the signing of the Paris Peace Accords in January 1973. The Christmas bombing was a response to the breakdown of peace talks earlier in the year. The US aimed to force North Vietnam back to the negotiating table by demonstrating overwhelming military power. The bombings targeted key infrastructural and military sites. The scale and intensity of the operation were unprecedented, involving hundreds of aircraft and thousands of sorties. The operation faced significant challenges, including strong anti-aircraft defenses and the risks of flying large bombers over hostile territory. Despite these dangers, the bombings continued for 11 days. The relentless assault inflicted substantial damage on North Vietnam's war capabilities. This display of force was intended to show that the US had the resolve and capability to sustain high-intensity warfare if necessary. Operation Linebacker Two involved a massive deployment of air power. A total of 207 B-52 bombers, along with 1,077 tactical aircraft, participated in the campaign. These aircraft targeted vital infrastructure such as railways, power plants, and airfields. The primary aim was to disrupt North Vietnam's ability to wage war and supply its forces in the south. The bombers flew from bases in Guam and Thailand, carrying out missions both day and night. The sheer volume of bombs dropped was staggering, with over 20,000 tons of ordnance hitting their targets. The campaign's intensity was designed to overwhelm North Vietnam's defenses and force a strategic rethink. The US military meticulously planned each sortie to maximize damage and minimize losses. Despite facing formidable anti-aircraft fire and surface-to-air missiles, the bombers pressed on. The loss of 15 B-52S and several fighter jets highlighted the risks involved. However, the damage inflicted on North Vietnam's infrastructure was significant. Bridges, power stations, and communication lines were destroyed, severely disrupting the North's logistical capabilities. The mission's success lay in its ability to cripple North Vietnam's war effort temporarily. The destruction of key targets forced the North Vietnamese leadership to reconsider their position. The relentless bombing campaign ultimately compelled them to return to the peace talks in Paris. The aftermath of Operation Linebacker Two was significant. The bombings brought North Vietnam back to the negotiating table. The Paris Peace Accords were signed on January 27, 1973. This agreement aimed to end the Vietnam War. It stipulated a ceasefire, US troop withdrawal, and return of prisoners of war. However, it failed to address underlying tensions. North Vietnam continued to build up its forces. In 1975, North Vietnam launched a full-scale invasion, leading to the fall of Saigon. Many historians believe that if the US had maintained its support for South Vietnam, the outcome of the war could have been different. Operation Linebacker Two showed the potential of sustained military pressure. The bombing campaign compelled North Vietnam to negotiate. However, the withdrawal left South Vietnam vulnerable. Continued US support might have enabled South Vietnam to resist. The sustained American presence could have deterred the 1975 invasion. Ongoing US support might have bolstered the South Vietnamese government. This scenario remains speculative. The complexities of the Vietnam War extended beyond military strategy, reflecting the enduring complexities and lessons of the Vietnam conflict.